live. Welcome to today's morning power up call. Welcome to the January 1st morning power up call. It is a pleasure to be here with you all today. It's a pleasure to be able to do this live call and to share with you some cool ideas, some cool insights. Here as we stare down the barrel of a brand new year. I feel like 2023 is just a year full of wonderful opportunities. I look at it and I know it's the year that my life is going to take a gigantic step forward in every aspect of my life. I can feel it. I know it. I see a clear path to do it. And I know it's the year that you guys can also take a giant leap forward for yourself. However, it's all going to depend on one decision you make. There's a decision you can make today, a decision, not just a wish or a New Year's resolution, but a decision that can literally make or break this year for you. And honestly, this year, there's so much that has occurred this year. There's so much that has opened up as a result of 2022 that there's a window of opportunity, a tight but massive window of opportunity for those of you who are able to take advantage of this that I don't know how much longer will be open, honestly, right? Like with the way things are going in the economy on a macro scale, with the amount of untapped opportunities that are sitting here for those who are actively pushing forward and can actively use them. I don't know how long this, like, there's going to be a huge window of opportunity. It's like getting in during the internet. And those first mover advantages are going to be huge. And there'll be secondary waves. But right now is an amazing time to be where you are today. Just real quick, housekeeping. We've done a few things with the domain. The trw.ai. The link is no longer the right one. I added a comment here in this video. I pinned it. I said, here's a link for the real world. It's app.jointherealworld.com. So that domain should be stable. We shouldn't have any issues from that domain. So we should be able to use that to access that. And the cool thing is, right, like no matter what happens, we always get back up and we find a way to move forward. So you guys are here. You guys are in the right place. We will always get the app up. We'll always get it to you no matter what type of attack occurs. We will always be here to provide you with value. And that's the cool thing about the real world. So I've been doing this for a while now. I've been doing this program for a good hot minute. And I can tell you that it's unlike anything that has ever existed before, right? I've been a part of other business mastermind groups. I've been a part of other copy coaching programs, and they've been good. Don't get me wrong. There's some cool programs out there. There's some cool people doing some cool things. But there's something special about this program. There's something special about this particular unique blend of individuals. I was talking with a marketing friend a while back, a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the difference between how the real world is marketed and how other people, other brands market. And it took me way back to one of the first times. So I actually found out about copywriting like 3 or 4 years before I started. All right, I found out about copywriting. I read some online digital marketing books, and I was reading some books about copywriting. I'm like, oh, that's some interesting stuff. But I got massively turned off to the whole field at one point. I was reading a book. I can't remember whose it was. It might have been one of the OG. I think it might have been one of the OG copywriters books. And I was reading it, and there was a part in there where it talked about the 7 deadly sins. You know, like gluttony and sloth and pride or whatever those things are. Envy. These 7 deadly sins. And they said these are like the base human desires, and if you can tap into these 7 deadly sins, you can sell a lot more. And they gave examples, right? Like the sloth one, like, oh, like you want to get the thing that you want without having to do any work, right? Do this while being lazy. Like if you can tap into those things, that more people will buy from you. And I remember reading that, and I was like, dude, that is straight up evil. Like I get that more people will buy, but like, is marketing really about bringing out the worst in people? And it kind of turned me off the whole field for a minute. And I didn't really dive into digital marketing. I didn't really dive into copywriting at that time, because it left a bad taste in my mouth. I have strong personal convictions about God and the nature of the universe and right versus wrong and goodness, right? And I didn't want to be a part of a force for evil by like promoting these 7 deadly sins. Anyways, eventually I ended up getting into digital marketing. I ended up kind of take a slightly different approach. And I was talking about a marketing friend of mine. We were sitting around talking about the difference about this. And he's like, and it struck me, like we were having the conversation. You know how like sometimes you have conversations and then all of a sudden that the insight comes. I think human dialogue is one of the most powerful ways to process ideas. That's why we talk to ourselves when we're trying to think. It's why people who live by themselves for too long start to go crazy. I think human dialogue is an important way that we think through ideas. As I was talking with this guy, and it hit me. It struck me like a ton of bricks. He was like, "Yeah, Tate's so different, man. Like everyone else was saying, like, earn $1 million of passive income while you sip pina coladas at the beach in Mexico, right? Like that was the thing. Like be lazy and get everything you want." And Tate sold the complete opposite idea, which kind of breaks up some level of the value equation to some degree, but not quite. It sells a better dream outcome. It says, hey, if you want something amazing in your life, you have to go out and earn it. You have to become the best version of yourself so you can earn this thing. And really what Tate has preached and what the real world is all about is not about like just getting things. It's about becoming something more. It's about becoming a more positive, powerful, happy, fulfilled, meaningful, like just a happier, better, more capable, and more positive version of yourself. It's been a massive message of positivity, which is why I was attracted to the whole thing in the beginning. It's been really fun to build the real world out around that, because the real world is all about that. It's thousands and thousands of you guys together, massively working together, massively working and pooling that positive energy, that positive drive in one big place. And there's something cosmically powerful about that. There's something powerful about being together with thousands and thousands of other people, all united in the same positive desires to become better, to become the greatest version of yourself possible. Like that's a powerful force in your life. It's been a powerful force in my life, just as the professor. To be here and to be a part of this community has been a force that has driven me, on top of everything else I've already been doing, to be a bigger and better version of myself, to be a more positive and more powerful version, because I want to make sure that you guys all win. That's my goal. I want to make sure all of you win. I want to make sure that 2023 is the best year for every single one of you possible. I want to make sure you all live the happiest lives possible. I want to share thoughts and insights that took me decades to find by myself, and hopefully shave off a few of those years for you. So that's why we're here. That's why this program's together. That's why we're going to continue to get up and find a new domain name or launch a new platform every single time we need to, so we can get this message, the power of this positive push forward for all of you, get it out there, get it live, get to where we can all use it. So I can show you how to earn your financial freedom, which in turn teaches you how to think and teaches you how to be free. That's my goal here. That's my ultimate purpose as a member, and that's why I've been chosen to be here, and that's why I'm here. So this is gonna be a good year. We're gonna keep doing these morning power ups this entire year. We're at number 130 now. We're gonna add 365 by the end of the year. We've got a lot of powerful messages to push out for you guys. So let's pause for a second. Let me make sure I've covered all of the housekeeping things I need to talk about. Okay, let's talk about AI. And I kind of alluded to it as it being the year. This is the year where it's going to massively transform everything, and you want to get in on it and use it. And that's why I've been producing the How to Conquer the World Through AI course inside of the Real World under the copywriting courses, where I've been showing you how to use the tools that are available right now to massively speed up your process as a copywriter and massively tap into new opportunities. Anything that took you 10 hours before is going to take you 1 hour now. You're still going to need to be a copywriter. You're still going to need to know all the skills inside the marketing bootcamp. You're still going to need to know how to do those and how to do those well as a human being. But your ability to get rounds on target faster has just transformed with AI, and you need to be using it. So if you're not using it, that's something you need to be paying attention to. Go watch the videos. I said I'd add one every day for 7 days. Today's the last day of those 7 days that I originally promised. I will continue to add more, just probably not every single day. I'll be adding new AI lessons as I find and build new ways to use it. There's a lot more. I've shared like maybe 1% or maybe 10% of the things I've learned how to do with it so far. So powerful tool. Go watch those videos. As you're prospecting, it'll help you speed up your prospecting. As you're working with clients, it'll help you speed up the way you work with clients. This is a huge trend, and you need to get involved in it, because it's going to transform the entire economy. It's going to be different now as a result. So in a good way. Those who know how to use this are going to absolutely crush. I want you to be one of those people that absolutely know how to use this and absolutely crush. Oh, yeah, some of you have been commenting in the chat. I buzzed my head today. I always do. On New Year's Day, I always, for like the last 5 or 6 years, I've just buzzed my head as like a tradition that I do. It's a thing us Bassmen do. We create these weird traditions around haircuts. And this is mine. My grandpa, for example, he shaves his beard and he jumps in the the pond on his property on his birthday, like May 15th. So it's like super cold and it's a whole big thing, right? So that's his thing. My deal is I shave my head every new year. I don't shave, I just buzz it. Just as a sign of new beginnings, starting over. It kind of helps me tap into some old associations I have with no hair that helps me just move forward and conquer a little bit better. So for those of you who've been asking about that, that's the reason why. So someone asked if you should be. I'm just real quick. I just saw it. Someone answer it. So someone asked, "Should we watch course if I'm still progressing through the boot camp?" You should probably wait until you get to stage 10 or 11 before you watch the AI course. That'll give you a good enough foundation in it. But once you've done that, as long as you've completed your daily task, by all means, go in and watch the AI course videos. So, yeah, I got to leave the beard always. So let's talk about today's actual message. The most important thing you can do in 2023. You guys are looking forward at a giant chunk of time. And I want to share a quote. This is something I heard from a guy once. I think we were sitting around the fireside in Miami once. I was talking with a guy, real cool dude, super awesome adventures. I won't say his name to protect his privacy, but he's a really interesting individual. We were talking together, and he said something that I have thought about ever since. And he said, people tend to overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. And it's actually really true. Most people, they manage their time poorly. They think about their day poorly. They try and put too many tasks on their day and they can't seem to get them all done, or they don't really manage what they do. They just think they'll kind of do everything. And most people waste a huge part of their years because they don't know how to manage their days right. If you manage your days correctly, you can accomplish a lot in a year. And you can probably go a lot further than you think in a year, right? In these next 12 months, you guys, especially with the tools I'm showing, can go from zero to a lot of money. Right. This is the year you could massively transform yourself financially and physically. Right. There's a lot of things you guys can massively transform, but it all comes down to your ability to manage your day. If you can manage your day correctly, then you can keep your pulse and a high enough strategic vision on your year, you can experience a massive transformation. But there is a certain level of discipline that is required to achieve anything great in this world. Right. If you want to be great, if you want to succeed, there is a certain level of commitment you have to make. And I've decided to try and make that as easy as possible for you. When I say easy as possible, I don't mean easy. I don't mean this is going to be any easier than it would be if I wasn't here in some ways, right? But it is simpler. I have cleared up some of the ambiguity that has existed around what you need to do to be successful, especially inside of this program. A lot of people come in and they just kind of, they've come through a life where they've just drifted through life. Most people, when you're at, like, from the age of 0 to 19, 20, 21, most people have never actively really driven their life by design, right? Humans are designed to be raised by other humans. So we learn how to move in society and things like that, which is cool. I'm not really gonna say too much about that. That's part of humanity. It's part of happiness. It's part of the design. It's not a problem. But once you reach this stage where you are looking to develop yourself and build financial freedom and sort of launch out and create your own life, this is when you have to learn how to drive your own life, how to make your own decisions, how to sit down and decide what you need to do and then do it. And instead of, and part of the drifting that occurs before is you don't actively think. Most people just kind of drift through the world. Other people tell them what to do. Other people tell them what to think. And they don't really actively make choices. They just kind of react emotionally. They want to watch that movie, so they watch it. They want to read that book, so they do. They want to go to that party, so they do. They feel like learning about this, so they do. And it's all feelings based, right? It's all just, whatever you feel in the moment is kind of what you do. Or you're in school, you just kind of react to the situations that arise. The teacher says this program gets assigned, your friends are doing this. You just kind of react, right? You're not really actively acting, you're reacting. Like, there are two things in this universe. There are things that act on other things, and there are things that are acted upon. And most people have gone through their life before this program almost entirely as things that are acted upon. And I'm trying to teach you guys how to become agents, things that act upon the world. In 2023, it's going to be extremely important to be the person who acts on the world, because everyone else is going to turn into a giant labor class, a giant slave class, as a result of some of the transformation things in the world. So in order to help you guys shift, you need to learn to to decide what you're going to do and then do it. You need to proactively look at the world, look at what you need to accomplish, and then decide how you're going to go through that thing. Outside of the realms of reacting, you need to actively choose. And one of the most important ways, and I think the actual key to being successful in 2023, this key to going through the boot camp, learning the materials, to applying the AI, to moving through the Legion, getting your sales outreach dialed in, landing your first clients, then taking those clients and upgrading those clients. The key to getting on that journey and making that happen is a daily commitment to accomplish the items on the daily checklist. I created the daily checklist. It's now a channel in the general section, so you guys can always see it. It's just always there. So we got the green checklist right there beside it. It says daily checklist, and it's like 6 or 7 different things you can do every single day. That if you go through, like if you do the ones for the boot camp, you go through the boot camp quickly, you'll learn the lessons you will acquire the skills. If you skip any of those things on the seven elements of the daily checklist for the beginner boot camp, you're not going to get as much out of the boot camp as someone who does. Right? It's going to make you the most competitive as possible. If you do it every single day, you build a habit and it compounds over time. Imagine spending, and then there's a new checklist for once you reach after the Legion. Once you join your Legion and you're in the client acquisition stage, there's a daily checklist. I need to add this down. I'm going to make a note of it after this, to add in a daily checklist for what happens once you've landed 2 or 3 clients, how you approach copywriting, because it's a little bit different. But I'm going to teach you the daily things you can do in order, like if you actually do those daily things, they compound upon themselves, right? These are the tasks that if you do every day in 2023, you will end 2023 with 10 to 100 times more income than you have right now. Or maybe infinity if you just have $0. Like you're going to make a lot of money because of the program and because of the way it forces you to go through, acquire skills as quickly and rapidly as possible, and then do the work as intelligently as possible in order to win. I'm telling you guys, the best decision you could possibly make in 2023, if you want to set yourself free and you want to massively transform your income, acquire the skill of copywriting, digital marketing, land clients, earn yourself a future where you don't have to go to college, where you don't have to live the boring 9 to 5 life with an employer and all that fun stuff. If you want to be the guy who can run entire companies, digital marketing in 2023 and use the power of AI to enter new markets and disrupt them, if you want to be that guy and earn tens of millions of dollars potentially if you execute on it correctly, you're going to want to make the decision today to do the daily checklist every day of 2023. I have a daily checklist every day. It varies. It's a little bit different from this because I'm in a different position than you, but I always get my daily checklist done. It's a discipline I have. Every night before bed, I sit down and I create my list for the next day. And then the next day I wake up and I do that list every single day. And so it has allowed me to grow and progress as quickly as I have. So in 2023, I hope you make this decision. The difference between deciding to do this and saying, oh, it's probably a good idea to do this, is a decision is you literally cut off every other opportunity. If you think about it, there's a difference between deciding and wanting. A lot of people want to lose weight, right? You'll meet people who they know they should, they need to, they want to, like they really, really want to. They want to look good, they want to feel good, they want to be healthy. They know they need to. They even know what they need to do. They know the foods they need to cut out. They know they need to eat at a caloric deficit. They know they need to start adding some physical activity in their life. They know what they need to do and they want to do it, but they don't. They want to. There's desire. Desire is there. And then there's a shift. Every so often, you'll see someone who then decides they're going to do it. And it's different. When you make a decision, everything else just kind of, all the excuses, everything else just fades away, right? All the obstacles, they're just overcome, right? When they're at a restaurant and it's like, the only option you have is a boring chicken salad. Everything else is deep fried and disgusting. You know, that first person, the one who just wants to lose weight, this time they'll eat the deep fried disgusting stuff because they just want to lose weight. They haven't decided to. But the person who's decided will either not eat anything, just say, no, I'm not hungry yet, and just eat later, or they'll eat the disgusting chicken salad, right? Like healthy. Like they'll actually make the right decision because they've already decided beforehand. They've made the decision. Those are the people that actually get what they want. People who decide things get things. People who just want things don't get things. You don't get what you desire, you get what you decide to have. Because the decision implies that you will perform any action necessary to make it happen. It becomes a new reality for you. So for you guys, as you enter the new year of 2023, you have the ability to make decisions rather than just have wishes. Most New Year's resolutions are just New Year's wishes. I wish, I want, it's weak. Make your New Year decisions. And I think there's one that's more powerful than all of them. And that is literally to decide that every single day in 2023, no matter what, I will find a way to accomplish my daily checklist every single day. If you do that, it'll solve the whole year and day problem that I mentioned before. You won't be overestimating what you can do in a day. This is manageable. It's not easy, but it's manageable, and you're capable of doing this every single day. It's a clear path forward. You're not going to have to spend time asking yourself, what should I do? You'll know what to do. You can just spend your time doing what you need to do. And if you do this every single year, all 365 days of 2023, the effects will compound rapidly. Within that first month, you'll be through the program and be well on your way to having your first client. Within a month, you'll probably have landed your first deal pretty solidly using this daily checklist. And then with the next checklist I provide, you're going to be able to take and upgrade your client, the work with your client, and then upgrade the works and land more clients to the point where you'll be able to earn your financial freedom by the end of the year. Easy. Anyone listening to this call has the capacity, no matter who you are, what situation you are, you have the capacity. Even if you're an hour a day, you have the capacity to earn your eternal financial freedom by the end of this year. If you apply what I'm telling you to do, if you go through and do your daily checklist, even if you just have an hour and you have to modify it slightly because all you have is an hour, if you do it every single day, there is no way that you can lose in 2023. This is the most powerful decision you can make. So I hope you decide to cut off every other possibility tree that exists in this version of the simulation, in this version of the universe, and decide that you are going to perform your daily checklist every day. Because if you do, you cannot fail. You can only win. My friends, this has been a good New Year's Day call. We've got a lot of fun things in store. We've got a lot of content for you guys to release. The AI stuff is going to be good. I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of time management stuff that comes after this, so you guys can manage your mindset and manage your days better. On top of the daily checklist, I've got so many things for you guys. I got some advanced copywriting techniques. Once I can help you guys use AI to take care of some of the tedious things, I can start teaching you guys the advanced stuff, the really slick persuasion stuff, the stuff that's going to give you a major edge over everybody else inside the field who just can't hack it, who doesn't have this knowledge. Once I share this stuff with you guys, you're going to stand out, and you're going to have such a huge ability because you're going to be able to leverage AI to get the boring stuff done, and then you'll be able to stack on the crazy, super persuasive stuff on top. I've got new tools I'm building for you guys. I'm telling you, 2023 is going to be a really cool year. And the people who stick with the program, no matter what changes, no matter what attacks happen, no matter what domain we switch to, the people who can stick with it and do the daily checklist every single day, 2023 is going to be a very prosperous year for them. Entirely, and they'll look back and be like, wow, that was it. I was talking with my wife yesterday. I was remembering back to a time when I wasn't working for myself, when I still worked for an employer, and I was like struggling on the side trying to find a way to make money. And I remember I was like launching something, and I was doing sales calls and like cold calls and different things I was testing, and everything was just falling flat for a million reasons. Like the thing I was offering wasn't that valuable. I didn't understand my target market. There was a whole bunch of reasons why this particular thing was failing. But I remember in the moment thinking, man, is it even possible? Like, how do all these random people like make money for themselves? How is that person right there in that shop in business for themselves? How do they do this? Like they do. And like, I know that I'm at least as smart, if not smarter than that person. How come it hasn't happened for me yet? I remember one time I had like $5,000 or $6,000 in credit card debt that I couldn't pay at one point. I was like, dude, like how? I remember just like eating at me. Like, how am I going to ever, like I was at my job and I was like, it's going to be months before I'll be able to pay this off. Months and months, maybe a year. I remember just eating at me. I was like, dude, is there ever going to be a time when I'll be able to be free of this? And I remember it's powerful looking back now and realizing that there is. And it all came, and that shift came because I decided, you know what? Other people have done it. I'm at least as intelligent, and I am at least as hardworking as those people, probably much more so. If I stick with this and I push forward and I continue to solve these problems, I will find a way. And I did. I found a way. I developed a way through copywriting to land and earn an incredible amount of money for my family. Wipe out credit card debt like it's no big deal. Wipe out any problem I have and be completely flexible with my time and energy. If I want to go somewhere in the world, I can go somewhere in the world, anywhere. There's any place in the world, any restaurant in the world, any place in the world I can go and enjoy my time there, right? My life is absolutely and entirely free now. and it's so different compared to where it was before. But the one thing that got me from there to here, aside from learning all the knowledge, aside from getting obsessed, is that I decided to take daily action. Every single day I got up, no matter what obstacles I faced, and I threw myself out there and I found a way to win. That's the power of absolute indefatigability and relentlessness, right? You become the Terminator. You become the guy who never gives up, who always pushes forward no matter what. If you can do that through the daily checklist, if you can do that 2023, you'll experience the same shift that I did. It's math. It's how the universe works. This has been a good call. I hope you guys all take this information and run with it. Some of you will, some of you won't, unfortunately. But those of you who will, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll know what that transformation feels like in a short number of weeks or months. So my friends, it's been a good call. I hope you guys are all able to move forward as powerfully as I would like you to. I hope you guys all invest in the program the same way that I've invested in it. You consume it as ardently as I've produced it, because I know that if you do so, you're going to push forward and you're going to have a much more beautiful life as a result of 2023. We're all here to win together. We're all here to work together. The positivity of this message, the positivity of what we're here, what united us is a powerful force. And if you can stick with it, if you can keep yourself plugged into that positivity through the chats, through coming to these calls, if you can stay plugged into that, you'll be able to weather whatever storm the world throws at us in 2023 with power and positivity and find a way to win. That's what we're here to do. This has been a great call. This has been a fun call. One of these days, I'll have to do it in person. I'll have to find a way to gather people physically together and we can do the call. But it'll just be me talking to you guys. Maybe we should think of a way to do that. Maybe at the end of 2023, maybe for the 2024 New Year's thing, we'll try and do it live, like in person live. We'll think. We'll see about it. We'll have to consider some things, but this will be a powerful year. I'm excited to see where we are at the end of it, and I hope to meet some of you in person and shake your hand and we get to talk about swap stories about overcoming crazy cool challenges. My friends, it's been a good call. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys inside of the channel, inside the chat. Again, the link to access everything is the pinned comment here. I'll be sending out an email to everybody so everyone can have access to the link. My friends, it's been a good call. I will talk with you